Hey guys, I just wanted to take a second and show you guys how to calculate a cylinder surface area. So I just want to take a second and look at our cylinder. The first thing I want you to notice is that we have provided you with some information. And the first piece of information that I want you to know about is that we can look here and we can see that this line is 6 centimeters long. And hopefully you guys can all see that we still call that the radius. So we need to find the we're given the radius. And in this case, this 15 is actually telling us the prism length or height. I'm going to call it, I'll just write down, I'm going to call it a height today because I'm looking at it and it's actually going up and down. If this cylinder was on its side and it was sideways, I'd call it a prism length. And we want to look at a couple of things in terms of finding surface area. So I want to take a second and I want to simply draw a net of what this would look like. And you guys practiced doing that quite a bit the other day. So a net of this prism would basically look like it would be a rectangle. Because if I imagine cutting along this label and I unfold the label of a soup can, you would see that that makes a rectangle. The circle, if I imagine a can opener, I'm opening it up, I would still have a circle sitting up here and I would have a circle sitting down here. Now, theoretically, those circles are supposed to be the exact same size. And looking at that then, not sure what happened to my circles. One circle and another circle. I'm just going to now take a second and put the information on my net. So I know my radius is 6 centimeters. And I know my height, the separation between the prisms, is over here at 15 centimeters. So using those pieces of information, all I want to do is I want to take a second and I want to calculate the area of each piece. Now, I can do my circles. You guys practice that. We know to find the area of a circle, and I'll just do it off to the side here. It's A equals pi r squared. And we said r squared means r times r. So it's really easy for us to find this surface area because we know our radius already. So we know it's 3.14 times 6 times 6. So I'm going to have to pull out my calculator to do this. And I'm simply just going to type in my numbers and do what needs to be done. So surface area is going to be 3.14 times 6 again, and I should get a value of 113.04. 113.04, and that's measured as centimeters squared. So now we know the area for each of my circles. Now we did say that both these circles were identical, so this area is for one circle, then the other area must be the same, right? So if this guy's going to be 113.4, this guy's going to be 113.04 as well. Now, here is where things become a little bit trickier. I have to find the area of my middle piece, and I'm just going to do that one in red, so we have a little bit of a different color. We know that to solve for the area of this rectangle, it is simply taking my length and timesing it by my width. Now the only problem is I don't know what my length is, or what my width is, I guess. I don't know how long this side is just by looking at this picture. That red line, we don't have a measurement there. So what we need to do is we need to actually do some math and make some understandings. This line was at one time wrapped all the way around the top of this circle. And that distance we know as my circumference. And if I know that, then I can solve this by simply saying, well, I can solve circumference. I have enough information for my circumference. I can simply look at finding my circumference, and I know it is measured as pi times diameter. We memorized that. We also learned somewhere along the line that our radius is half the length of our diameter. So if it's half the length, it must be the diameter is twice as long. So therefore I can say, well, my diameter is 2 of my radiuses, so 6 plus 6 is 12. And now again, I can just plug my numbers into my calculator, and I can go 3.14 times 12, and I get a value of 37.68. So now we know this distance here is 37.68 centimeters. So I can actually do my calculation now because I have both side lengths for my area. So this is simply a matter of multiplying my length, and we'll call my length 15 centimeters, times my width, or in this case, a circumference, which is 37.68. So the area turns into 15 times 37.68. I just got to plug that in my calculator, and I get a value of 565.2. And this is area, so it's centimeters squared. Now, knowing this, I now have 3 different areas. I have my circle area of 113.04, my top piece. I have the area of the rectangle, which I have 565.2 centimeters squared. And I have the area of the bottom circle, which is 113.04. So now all I have to do to solve this is I just simply want to add my surface areas together. So I can just simply say, okay, to find the surface area of a cylinder, I'm going to add those areas together. 113.04 plus 565.2 plus 113.04. And again, since I have a calculator, it's no problem. I just have to plug the numbers into my calculator. First number, 113.04 plus 565 plus another 113.04, and I should get a value of 791.28. 791.28. And again, this is areas that we measured, so my units will always be centimeters squared because all of these were centimeters squared. I hope that makes sense. Go through it again if you got confused in a couple places. Just a note, the 12 is really the only number I never showed you where I got that from. I got that number simply because d is equal to 2 times my radius, which is 2 times 6. Okay, and that's where the 12 came from. Hope that makes sense to you guys. Remember, again, if you have questions, let me know. Thanks, guys.